everybody, and welcome to the AGRA podcast. This is the very first time that AGRA has its own podcast, and this is so exciting. We have some really incredible discussions happening throughout these episodes. But first and foremost, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Kanyim Laba. I'm a guest host for this podcast. You'll be introduced to many wonderful guest hosts. I'm just one of them. Today, we are here to have a discussion with Mr. Amadou Gallo Fall, who has been making incredible moves across the continent on and off the court to make sure that young people have access to the resources that they need. So we are here to find out a bit more of how he's been able to do that, how he's been able to advocate for the continent, and how he's been able to integrate nutrition into his discussions with the team. All right, welcome to the conversation, Monsieur Amadou. We are here to have a discussion about food systems at the Africa Food Systems Forum. However, you as the ever incredible sportsman and sports leader, we have so many incredible questions for you on youth and youth development. But what we like to do is start with a couple of fun questions. So, we're back here in Senegal. Can you tell us what is your favorite meal memory? Like the memory that you have of something that you ate and you just were, you were so incredibly astounded.
Yeah, Senegal has very diverse, culinary, dishes from different regions, generally, we know our most popular dish, the chebujan, and the okra stew, the mafe, etc. But one dish that I tried first time just a few years back from the south, and it's called c'est bon. C'est bon in French means literally it's good. It's just
And it's
the
that good.
simplicity is fish and, plain steamed rice, boiled okra, and this, we have this, maybe what they call in Ghana, garden egg, but our version is a bit bitter. It's kind of like the aubergine, but different. Just the simplicity of the dish, no oil, a little bit of palm oil sprinkled on the rice. I think for me that was it.
You described that like a chef. You described that like you're an expert at making a good meal.
I love food. Not a chef. I dabble into it. I try to cook what I like, right? And it's come from, having left the country early and you're a student abroad, you want to have some of the dishes from home. So I'll call my sister to find out how do you make X, Y, Z. So that's how you learn. So,
I love that. And just going a little bit off script and jumping into that part of the discussion, I actually wanted to ask you, obviously you are very interested in cooking and interested in food. Is that something that you pass on? You obviously work with youth. Is that something that you pass on to the youth that you work with, especially in the sports era, in the sports space, sorry. How are you able to communicate how important nutrition is for young players and young athletes?
Well, I mean, that's the fundamentals, right? That's the basis of all success for any athletes that want to perform at the highest level. Taking care of your body, because that's your, the cliche is the temple. That's what gets you where you need to get in terms of just achieving big things on the field or the court, the pitch. Having healthy diet. When you look at a player like LeBron James at age 40, still playing at elite level, at superstar level, it comes from taking care of his body, obviously through nutrition and everything around. Also, just having nutrition science and all the sports medicine advances being put to use to maybe help the athletes maintain the highest level of form, right? And I think it starts with nutrition.
I agree. I think that's one of the things that we really want to try and communicate, particularly at this forum with food systems and being able to connect that food systems and nutrition, all of this connects to our everyday parts of life. One of the biggest things that I think we're trying to communicate at this forum is trying to create job opportunities and trying to create employment. Now, I'm going to ask this question in a couple different ways because we are looking for a couple different answers and you have quite a bit of knowledge. So you have done a really excellent job at bringing eyes ties to Africa and to African youth in particular, and engaging in African youth. How can we learn from that in terms of engaging African youth into getting, interested in agriculture and finding opportunities in agriculture?
Yeah, my interest, my really focus on throughout our work, making sure that we try to impact different areas that have definite relevance on Africa's development. So beyond just the narratives of the potential we have in Africa, and how the continent is rising, it's about, in practical term, what does it all mean, right? For me, unearthing the great things that we have on the continent, how we can now, our culture is exported and consumed all over the world. What Afrobeat or Amapiano, these are played in Madison Square Garden or the O2 Arena at the Olympics and the World Cup and all that stuff. But along with that comes how our food now becomes more appreciated. It used to be that you go to, whether it's New York or London, you want your food from Senegal or Nigeria, Ghana, wherever. A lot of time those restaurants are in far off places. Right now, they are in Times Square. They are in the heart of these urban metropolitans, because the African culture have really been now on the forefront. You tie that with sports. A lot of these great sports people, there's no professional, let's say, football league where you don't find great African talent playing major roles. Same in basketball, right? I talked about it. The MVP of our league a couple of years ago, Joel Embiid from Cameroon, before Giannis Antetokounmpo, all this stuff. So all these fans of these sports now are also interested in everything that has to do with African culture. And I think showcasing our food, our diversity, and give us an opportunity to grow an entire ecosystem around food. And this is the same thing, the approach we have when we launched the Basketball Africa League, which is a culmination of many decades of work to build the game of basketball at grassroots level. Our desire and focus is to build the ecosystem, build an industry around basketball that's going to be an economic growth engine. And it ties in food and fashion and music and all these great things that our continent has to offer.
I think that's stunning, building an industry around it. And I thank you so much for this discussion. We have so much more to learn from you. But for now, that's where we're going to wrap it. Thank you so much for making the time for us today.
Thank you.